Hello everyone, you're welcome back to this channel. Thanks for always being there. Now in today's video I'll be sharing with you how to make a baby girl box pleated skirt, and trust you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Just take your time, like I always say, and watch this video to the end. It's a very easy tutorial, so I want to believe that in this tutorial you will find it very helpful. So let's get started. Now I have my fabric right here. As you can see, this fabric is on fold already. So the next thing I'm going to do is to measure what I have as the length of this fabric and the width of this fabric. Now I'm actually making for a girl of about 6 years old, and the full length is 16 inches for the skirt. So I've deducted some I've deducted little out of it, and I have like 12 inches left here. So this 12 inches is going to serve as the length of the pleated aspect of the skirt. So now I have the width of this fabric to be about 30 inches. Can you see, like 30 inches for the width of this fabric for the skirt? So right now what I'm going to do is just to slash this into two. So I'm going to divide it equally into two, like I've placed it, as you can see. So like I said, I'm going to divide it equally into two. So right now I haven't divided into two. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to go to the machine. I prefer hemming the down part first before I start the work in full. So I will go right now to hem the down part first. So I'm going to hem it like this, or if you have a serger, just use your serger on the at the edge and at the edge, but I will go ahead to hem it, the down part first. Now as you can see right here, I've hemmed the two pieces. Here is one of it. Can you see? So here is the second piece. I've also hemmed the down part. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to start my workings on the pieces. So right now I'll start with the first piece. So at the edge here, I'm going to measure 5 inches from this edge here. So I measure 5 inches. Sorry, I measure 2.5 inches. Sorry, I'll measure 2.5 inches right here. Okay, here is it. So right now, from that point, I'm going to measure 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches. From this point, I measure 3.5 inches. Here is it. So from that 3.5 inches, from this point, I'm going to measure 1.75 inches, and I have it here. 1.75 inches. I have it here. So from that 1.75 inches, I will go ahead and measure 3.5 inches again. Can you see? So from 3.5 inches, I will measure 1.75 inches, and I have it right here. So from that 1.75 inches, I will go ahead and mark 3.5 inches, and I have it here. From this point, I will go ahead and mark 1.75 inches. I proceed, I measure 3.5 inches. Okay. I proceed, I mark 1.75 inches. So I proceed, I mark 3.5 inches. So in these 3.5 inches, I should have like five. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the rest of it, I'm going to mark what I started with. You know, I started with 2.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 2.5 inches here. So it means this little one is an extra. So I'm going to cut that off. So the same thing will be repeated on the second piece. So what I'm going to do right now on the second piece, since it's the same width, so I will just take this first piece, okay. I will make the mark very, very bold, the mark of the chalk very, very bold. I will make it very, very bold. So that's what I'm doing right now. Very, very bold across the width. So I will make it bold like I'm doing right now across the width. So after that, the next thing I will do is to overlap it with this second piece, so that what I have, the marks I have on this will be what? Will be transferred to this second piece. Can you see what I'm doing right now? So I'm laying it right side to right side. This is the wrong side. You know, I'm working on the right side. So I'm laying it together. So, and what I'm doing right now is to transfer what I have, the marks I have on this one, this first piece, to the second piece. That is what I'm trying to bring out. So right now, I will just go ahead and make little knock on it like this, so that all the marks I have on this first fabric will be transferred to this second one. By the time I discover that it's not very okay, then I can just repeat it like that. But if I have it here, so I will go ahead and make it very, very visible. So I'm going to, you can see I have it there. So this is how I'm going to proceed till I complete this aspect. Can you see? So by the time I measure, you discover that it's exactly what I have there. You know, here I have 2.5 inches. Can you see? 2.5. After 2.5, 3.5, you see, is here. Then after that, I'll have 1.75. You see, is here. So right now, having done with that, the next thing I'm going to do right now is, so the 3.5 inches is what I will be stitching. So I have the 3.5 inches here. So it's all the 3.5 inches I will be working with right now. You can see 3.5 inches. So I'm going to match it together like this. Okay. This is the right side. Okay, there is the right side. This is the wrong side. So I'm going to stitch with 0.5 inch. So I will just go ahead and use my pin to pin it down. Okay. So I will pin it down like I'm doing right now. Can you see? So I will go again to the one of 3.5 inches, and here is it. So I'm going to overlap it like this, match it together like this, and I use my pin to pin it down there. So I have something like this. Okay. So I proceed again. The 3.5 inches, here is it. I match it together like this. So I use my pin to pin it down so that it will be easy for me by the time I get to the machine to stitch it together. So here is the 3.5 again. I match it together and I use my pin to pin it down. Okay, like I'm doing right now. So I proceed again. The Latin, this is the last one. So I match it together and I pin it down. Now you can see, let me spread it out so that you see how it looks. Can you see how it looks already? It's already forming the shape. Okay, can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do, and this is what I'm going to repeat on the second piece. After that, then I go to the machine and I stitch it. So I will run some stitch on it. You discover it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to run stitch like 0.5 inch downward, 0.5 across this aspect that I've pinned down. Now as you can see right here, I've stitched it. Can you see? I went to the back to stitch it with 0.5. Can you see? So this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go and iron it so that it will be flat like this. So by the time I iron it, it's going to be like this. It's going to be flat like this all through. Now as you can see right here, I went to iron it and this is how it looks. Can you see how relaxed and beautiful it is? So the next thing I'm going to do right now, this is what I was telling you the other time, that by the time you iron it, this place will be pressed like this. So the next thing is just to use my machine to stitch it just this edge so that it will be flat like this. So that's the next thing. So after that, I'm going to use what I will use to join it to make the complete length. So as you can see right here, I've stitched it. Can you see? I've run the stitch across the edge right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and measure what I have here. So from the edge to the other edge, now I have 11 3/4 inches. So that is what I will be using to cut out the width of the remaining part of the length. So 11 3/4. So I'm going to mark it right there, or I cut like I mark 12 inches. So let me just go ahead and mark 12 inches. So I have it here. That is for the width. Now for the remaining length, I will be using like 6 inches. 6 inches for the length. So I have it here. So I will also go to the other edge here. I mark the same 6 inches. So right now I'm going to cut. So in order not to waste the fabric, let me just place it like this. Okay. So let me look. I don't want to waste the material or the fabric, so I will just go ahead and mark right now. So I have my 6 inches right here. So the width, the width is, I marked 12 inches, so I will mark it also here. So I will also go ahead and mark the same 12 inches as the width. So right now I can now connect to this. So having connected, I will just go ahead and cut. So right now I'm going to cut it into two because it's two pieces. So right now I'm going to place it on each other. So I'm going to place it like this, right side to right side. Can you see? So I will stitch like 0.5, one edge to the other. So after that, it's going to be like this. Okay, then I'll proceed with the next stage. So as you can see it right here, can you see? I've stitched it to the down part. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to top stitch. This is optional. You can decide not to top stitch, but if you feel like, you can go ahead and top stitch just little like this, just to make it more straight like this, and that is just the essence. So after that, the next thing is to place it the two pieces together. Okay, so having placed the two pieces together, so the next thing I'm going to do right now is to stitch on both sides. So I'm going to run some stitch on both sides to stitch it, sew it from edge to the down part. Also here, from edge here to the down part. So as you can see it right here, I've sealed the two sides. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to create a space for my elastic. Let me make the upper part rhyme and make it the same. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, from this edge here, I'm going to mark, depending on the wideness of your elastic, like the one I will be using right now. Here is it. The one I will be using is like 1 inch. Can you see? 1 inch. So because of that, so if yours is 2 inches, it means you are going to mark 2 inches, 2.5 inches downward. Use the 0.5 to fold it inwards. But because this one is just 1 inch, so I will be using 1.5 inches. So from this edge here, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches down round the waistline. So I proceed, I mark 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. So I'm going to do it round. So as you can see right here, I've stitched the edge, okay, round. So, and I've left a space through which I'm going to pass my elastic. So right now I'm going to pass the elastic. I'm using a safety pin, as you can see right here with me. So from this little space here, I'm going to pass the elastic. So if you're a beginner, I will advise you to use the longer one so that it will be very fast. Although even if you are not a beginner, it's better you use the big one of the safety pin, so that it will be very fast. It will save time than using this smaller one. So like this, I pass it round. So here come the conclusion of this tutorial. Can you see? I've fixed the elastic. Can you see how it is? So I really want to appreciate you. I hope that you have learned one or two things in this tutorial and you discover that this skirt making is very easy, like I said initially. I hope you have seen it. You can go ahead and make yours, and this is how it will look. I really want to appreciate you for taking your time to watch this video. Thank you very much. So if you have any question, feel free to drop your question in the comment section, and if you have any comments, kindly drop your comment in the comment section too. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do that now. Click on the subscribe button below and hit on the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.